Hello, 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 Sarah. First one in. Hello, how are you doing? So, you got a late night tonight. I hope everybody's doing good. Hello, hello. So, I was watching a little bit of the. Uh-oh. Hold on, I gotta turn my volume down. Oh, shut up. Look, I don't even know how to turn my stuff down. There we go. I was watching a little bit of the Trump stuff because I wanted to see Kid Rock. I love Kid Rock. I know. It's okay. Well, I've been working on some stuff all day and working around here. Hey, where's Summer? 1-800-TBI Fine. Hello, hello, hello. And I got to see Kid Rock. So he's my man, in case you didn't know. Hey, I'm that dude. Hello, hello. So hello, everyone. Hello. It has been a eventful day around here today. It's been hot. Oh my God, it's been so hot. So yeah, I'm just winding down. Hey, Lolly. Hello, hello. Hello. So, how is everybody doing? Has your day been good? I hope so. I hope so. And it's rained here off and on. It has rained. So, hey, Sin. Hello, hello. But yeah, not much other than that's been going on. Sherry. Hello. Hello. I've been cleaning a little bit of house today and I don't know. Hey, Rosie from Jersey. Welcome, welcome. So I got a case that I wanted to get into. It's a sad case, y'all. It may be triggering for some. And oh, thank you. Oh, let's put it right here. Thank you, thank you. It's from 2014. September 18, 2014. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, wow. It's very sad. Some of you may have already heard it. It's about a guy named Don Spirit in Florida. He killed himself, his daughter, and 6 grandchildren. And he had went to prison, for an it was supposed to be a hunting accident years prior where he killed his own son. And now everybody's kind of wondering, was that an accident? Yeah, Sherry, I never. Yeah, he called 911 on that, Rosie. And he had already done his daughter and his grandkids in and was sitting there waiting on the cops to come and told them, when you get here, I'm going to do it to myself. And he did. He did. We're going to talk about it a little bit. And there is a lot of stuff on it. I mean, a lot. There's even a movie out on it. And no, I have not watched the movie yet. There was so much to research and stuff today. And I really got into it. I'm like, I just can't believe it. And in fact, DCF, CPS, whatever they call it here, I wouldn't know because I've never been involved with them, like some may say. But whichever one they call it here, it drives me nuts. I wish they would just call it one thing. But they won, we'll see, they won a the remaining family, which pisses me off to the core. I'm assuming it's the mother, the grandmother. Hey, Drew K. Welcome. Which I'm like, where is she at? But we'll get to all that. Don't get me started right now. Don't get my blood pressure up right now, because I stopped right about that. I'm like, where was she at during all this? So I know 1-800-SUMMER. Don't ask me all that right now. No, it's no laughing matter. I know you're going to, I know where you're going with that. Me and you on the same page. But they won a lawsuit, the remaining family. So who's the remaining family? Either grandmother on the, or grandparents on the either side I'm talking to, but mainly the daughter's mom, and we'll get there. But that's what this is about. That's what this is about. Hello, Susie. I'll give people more time, a little bit of time to come in, but that's what we're going to do tonight. What is the movie called? Let me see. Let me see if it tells what the movie's called. I mean, it should. Hold on a minute. It's called the Dawn Spirit documentary on Netflix, is what it says. So it's one on Netflix. Hey, everybody coming in. Amy Lou, hello, hello. So that's what it's showing. Yeah, so it should still be on there, probably, hopefully. Yeah, they are blind. Well, it's really sad because, okay, let's just get into it. Well, first of all, this is the man right here. This is him. Okay. That's Don Spirit. Again, this happened on September 18th of 2014. And it's a little town in Bell, Florida. It's right by Gainesville, Florida. So it was a little country town, a little small town there. And the reason I'm going by this right now is because I wanted to get the children's names right. The victims were Caleb, 11, Kylie, 9, Jonathan, 8, Destiny, 5, Brandon, 4, Elena, 3 months. And then the mom. So let me get back to what I had all put together here. And we're going to watch some videos on it too. Dang, I wrote a lot of stuff. Okay, but the Florida Child's Welfare Agency, they were warned about this in 2013. And that this man that I showed you the picture of, the dad and the grandfather, should be kept away from the daughter and the 6 grandchildren that he later killed. 3 of the 6 children killed were interviewed by Child Protection Services. They had a team that interviewed those children. Now, listen, the mom's not all what she's a victim. I don't want to But she was not all the perfect mother either. But let's get this out first. Remember, the dad was in prison. He served. And I'm wondering if it was an accident. Why did he serve 3 years in prison? I don't know. None of that matters now. It's water under the bridge for his own son's death. Accidental at the time. Him and his wife got divorced, whatever. But just keep that in the back of your head, because that's going to come up again in a hunting accident. But he spent 3 years, and yes, I did look it up on Florida Doc, and he spent 3 years in prison. But he got out. He was not supposed to have any firearms, okay? Not supposed to have any. Not supposed to do the drinking and the drugging and all the things. But anyway, here lies the problem. DCF had been out, interviewed the children, at least 3 of them, and he was not supposed to be around, On September 18th, he shot 28-year-old Sarah Spirit, his daughter, and her 6 kids. And the one baby was just born in June. And then he called and told him to come out because he had shot him and he was going to shoot himself, and he did. But DCF was warned during 2013 during a child abuse. I don't know who abused who, but during a child abuse investigation by a University of Florida child protection team and DCF, and was advised for the children not to have contact by the grandfather. State officials refused to confirm the newspaper that they interviewed the children, citing a confidentiality law. That old HIPAA confidentiality bullshit. The child protection team responded after Spirit's ex-wife, Christine. Now, this is the one I have. Christine Jeffers is her name. And this is the one I have the problem with. Where the hell was she during all this? I'm just asking. See, we're going to keep her in the back of our mind too, okay? Where is she? Where was she? And where is she getting the money now? That's what I want to know. You would think she would be really torn up that her son was killed during an accident, but we're going to get to that and the reason that I'm saying that. And now she's got her daughter and her 6 grandbabies now gone, but and I hate to do this. Oh, Lord, but don't come at me. Hey, Lady Freedom, but where is, oh, thank you, honey, Lady Freedom, but where is she at now, and is she getting some of the money, and hey, money wouldn't mean shit to me. Money wouldn't mean nothing to me. But what I'm asking is, in fact, where is both sets of grandparents? Okay, so anyway, and I'm not trying to beat them up. I'm not. I'm a grandparent. But here's the thing. While all this is going on, and you're going to see, when the child protection team responded, Christine Jeffers, the grandmother, and the mother and the ex-wife, called authorities in an attempt to protect her grandchildren. She did that. But she told a deputy that Don Spirit suffered from bipolar disorder at the time of the shooting. That's her son, with her son. And she said, Don's spirit was well known local to authorities. He had a previous felony conviction related to the accidental shooting of his son during a hunting trip in 2008. Okay. But her daughter, Sarah, filed a police report claiming he hit her while she was pregnant. 2013 child abuse interview, Sarah Spirit told a deputy, that's the daughter, she had seen guns in her father's possession, which he was not supposed to have. And he was legally a felon. And he was not allowed to have those firearms, but he did. Now, there's been domestic and all kinds of problems according to neighbors and this one and that one and reports. Okay, Sarah feared for her and her children and stuff like that. Okay, so by then, 2 weeks before the killings, the state child abuse hotline was called by someone who reported that adults were using, and I don't know if that was Sarah or not, but it was said that the hotline was called and reported that adults were using drugs in front of the kids, according to the documents finally released by DCF. At that time, DCF refused to comment. Again, they said an investigation was ongoing and they would not speak on it until after the investigation. I'm not sure if they did. I'm sure they did because my guess is because they had to, because of the lawsuit, they had to pay out. So I'm going to assume they did. But Sarah, the daughter, Sarah Spirit, was 22 years old and 8 months pregnant with her fourth child when she called the police in desperation. She said her father was violent and she was afraid of him and she had nowhere to go. There was no stranger. The neighbors and stuff said they were no strangers to violence. So they had a lot of violence going on. And at that time, she said he pushed me against the refrigerator really hard, then closed his hands really hard on my face. So he took his fist with a closed hand to her face. And he caused her pain, she said, and she wrote that in a report. And then she went to the Gilchrist County Court to seek a domestic violence injunction against her father, Don C. Spirit. She said and wrote, "I'm very scared of him. I know what he is capable of." At that time, she wrote that her father threatened to make her life hell. So, if she called the authorities, he said he would make her life hell. She did go to the police, though, although she did not follow up with the request on the restraining order. Now, online court records show he was later sentenced. He got 6 months in jail on a battery charge that arose from that same week of problems. Which, Now, I don't know about that time in 2015, but I know this. I don't know about back in 2015, but I'm going to tell you this. In Florida, period. It's not up to you this day and time. It's not up to you. If the cops get called to your house, period, end of the story, if one or the other goes to jail or both. For whatever reason, the cop deems to take you to jail. No matter if you want the person to go to jail or not. Hey, Ann, and they take you to jail. No matter if you need to go to the hospital or the jail or whatever. And the cop takes you to jail. They're automatically going to give you a no contact order, period, end of the story, until you see the judge and the judge makes the decision, is that necessary or not? So why she didn't follow up with that and why they did not give him that, I don't know. I don't know. But if you see, look this case up and you see they were in definite poverty where they lived at, what they lived in, 8 people and what they lived in, where they lived. I'm telling you, she was telling the truth when she said she had nowhere else to go and she felt she had no choice. My question is, why the children were taken away once? Why were they given back? And why were they allowed to live in those conditions? That's my question. But this man had many issues, many calls in to CPS, and he had been in trouble before, and he should have had no opportunity. Yes, so dysfunctional to say the least. He shouldn't have had the opportunity, hey, Dispatch Crystal, to, in my opinion, be there or be around them. Or somebody should have helped her get the tools and get out, in my opinion. But he killed his daughter and the 6 grandchildren, and then took his life. But nobody listened was the problem. Nobody listened. The neighbors and everybody said the spirits lived together in a cycle of extreme poverty. And they said, even her friends said, some friend, I'm just saying, even if they watch, some friend, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell it like it is. I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, but damn. They said she lived in extreme poverty and she had nowhere to go, and said she had nowhere to go. So nobody helped her? She thought she had to stay. Hey, R2 country girl. Start over. I don't even know where to begin. That's where a lot of people, they think they have to stay. They think they have to stay. Some people are not strong, or some people have all them kids, or some people just don't know what to do, right? They were in a spiral of drug use, debt, and repeated arrest can make sometimes extreme violence and despite interventions by authorities and interactions with DCF, CPS, whatever you want to call it, you know, it failed. It didn't save these children. Records even show they sent the parole officer out there. The parole officers went out to the Spirit home a month before this happened. Where did they go wrong? It's also a reminder that the recent focus on domestic violence is not just with boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. This was her dad. Hey, Blondie. This was her dad. Domestic violence can happen. And this is with her dad and the grandfather of 6 children, his own flesh and blood. Because why? He said in the call, and he sat there and talked to him a good bit. Nothing they said. He just said he was tired of it. They were already dead. He's just waiting on them to show up. And there's nothing they said. When he got there and he knew everything was going to be took care of, he's gone too. He's just tired of the mess. He's just tired of it. That was his only excuse. That's it. He's just tired of it. Well, if you're just tired of it, why did they all have to go? What has that got to do with you? You want to take your life? I'm sorry. Go on down in the woods and do that. Hate to see you go, but bye. Why did you have to take 7 more people? Why? Why would you take 7 more people? Hey, Daniel. Now people are wondering, was it an accident with his little boy? I wonder that. Of course, I'm going to wonder that. But it was actually in the news. People's been wondering it since 2000. This happened 2014, 15. They might have lifted themselves up out of poverty and had a good life. There's no telling what any of those kids could have been, or his daughter may have become, or anything else. I can't either, Blondie. I can't. But what I want to know again is, why were the children still in the home? So many people had been out there. They knew there were drugs. They knew there was DV, CPS, call after call after call, police reports after police reports. A close friend of hers, the daughter, who lives in Bell, and spoke on the condition of being anonymous. because she feared. She didn't want anybody to see her. She feared repercussions or whatever. I don't know from who. In her tight knit community, she said. But she said Miss Spirit had a good heart, but was always struggling to support her family and to keep it together. Her life was a mess, quote, the friend said. She had no job. She couldn't work with all them kids. Every time I turned around, something bad was happening to her. I mean, that said it all right there. That said it all. She said, or I don't know if she said, Miss Spirit was 15 when her father, an ex-convict, let me move that, accidentally shot and killed her brother Kyle during a hunting trip. Mr. Spirit was not supposed to be in possession of a firearm. For that, he was sentenced 3 years in prisons, which I did look that up, and that's what he spent. Records show that. So how much you want to bet he still had a firearm? Well, guess what? He had a firearm. Now, Sarah tried to call and tell them that. They just didn't listen. Nobody listened. Now they listened. He had a firearm. There's your proof. There's your sign. No telling how many times, what makes me mad is no telling how many times, think about it, he had threatened her and them kids with that firearm and put the fear of ever-loving God in her and them kids. Think about that. At 17, she was pregnant with her first child, and that's when, again, he was released from prison, and she had the 2 more children, and she was taking care of her little brother as well. Her parents' divorce records showed that in the years that came, she was in and out of court, and then she was arrested. She was arrested on charges of theft, battery, and illegal drug use. And get this, she sought child support payments from the fathers of her children. One of those arrests was after a fight with an 18-year-old girl. And she was also convicted of grand theft. And after she stole $400 from the wallet of an acquaintance she visited in 2013. Now, I don't condone any of that shit. I don't. But as soon as I read she stole the $400, it popped in my head like a lightning bulb. I was like thinking, she was probably starving to death. I honestly did. I was like, that girl was probably starving. She was probably hungry. Now, does it make it right? No. I can't stand a thief or a liar, but that was the first thing that honestly popped in my head. It was. I was just, from everything that I know about her, and I was reading what they've been through, I was just like, well, it don't make it right, but she could have been, she's probably starving. And I don't condone that, and it's not okay. But I don't know why that was the first thought that popped in my mind. I don't know. but she had a shack on the property of her boyfriend's family. The boyfriend's name was Mr. Stewart, and he ran above the law. He ran above the law. He thought he was above the law. He was arrested on charges of battery also. So see, she's in this abusive cycle. It just goes round and round and round and round. It don't stop. Nobody breaks this cycle. Everywhere you go, you're just in this cycle of abuse and drugs, and it never stops. It never stops. Who's breaking this cycle? It never stops. So he was arrested, and he was dealing in this stolen property, and he was in jail. So she was around that all the time. Again, where's her damn mama? That's what I want to know. Where is her mama? Looks like to me they got a divorce, and her mama just, why couldn't she go stay with her mama? Why'd she have to stay with her daddy? Where was her mama? I'm getting to that. Okay? I told y'all don't get my blood pressure up so early in the show. Why is it the man's job anyway? So anyway, they said she was always on government assistance. Well, that's what it's there for, poor people and stuff like that. So I can't down her for that. They said the children were often dirty and unfed. That's why I say, man, was she trying to feed her children? I don't know. I can't fault nobody for that. So I don't know. But finally, somewhere in this, at one point, they did remove her children from her. But how did she get her children back? I don't know. I honestly think, but of course it don't matter what I think. I honestly think they should have they either gave them back too soon or whatever, because they said she never did complete whatever she was supposed to do, or that's out there. Yeah, dirty and unfed. I mean, and again, where they all live together, it's not a crime to be poor, and it's not that, but the damn windows was boarded up. I mean, they lived in a trailer, all the windows was boarded up. Look, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know, honey. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm just saying how. Yeah, when you know better, you do better. It's very heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking. But what's more is heartbreaking is they know, stuff like this is going on because he's not supposed to have a gun. They know he does. He's not supposed to be around the kids, and he was. The kids taken away, give him back, not being fed. I mean, none of this makes no sense. But they said they also said that she had knocked on the door and asked neighbors or friends for diapers for her newborn and food for the other children. And she also had epilepsy, and she was just down on her luck all the time. And she felt she had no choice but to live with her father, that somebody said, one of the neighbors or friends said. Their relationship was clearly strained, is what the eyewitness said. Court records show that Mr. Spirit took his daughter to. Oh, this got me. Hold on a minute. I think he's dirty for this. Their relationship was clearly strained. Court records show that her father took his daughter to court 3 years prior, accusing her of collecting support payments for one of her children, Jonathan, even though she had been living with her father. He said the money belonged to him. It got messy and complicated, okay? What a shitty ass person, okay? So then the judge ordered the daughter to pay her father $6,578 in back payments. So she had to pay him $100 a month. Because, of course, she couldn't pay him. She had no job, 6 kids, and no way to pay him. Yeah, she lived with the bastard. It wasn't like he... What in the hell did he mean? They're all in the same household. Come on now. Get a brain. But he wants to take her to court. That's not enough for him. They all eat the same damn food or whatever. Come on now, get real. He wants to make a big deal out of it and says, no, that's supposed to be my money. I'm living there now. I'm out of jail. That should be my money. What? Are you kidding me right now? I don't even know. That's just low down. I don't even know. Yeah, they always had a safe, warm home, food, and clean and loved. I mean, yeah, some people are just too scared to get involved, in my opinion, too, Miss Ann. And this is why people don't want to get involved. This is why. It is sad when you grow up and this is unreal. This is just unreal and so heartbreaking. I can't even imagine. I can't even believe sometimes these stories are real. But people, neighbors, whoever knew them, said Mr. Spirit, get this, said that he disliked his grandchildren and he called them names in public. He did not, and that's even on my thumbnail, he did not like his grandchildren at all. And you know how a small town is. Well, I'm not sure, Rosie, because they said that he was not supposed to be around them. Now, there is one place that I saw, he had once deprived a child, and I don't know which or who or what, from shelter. So, yeah, I would call that abusing them. That's what one of the records says. I don't know if that was his son or, the one that died. I don't know if it was him or the grandkids. What? Either way, that's abuse, right? My kids and I lost all of our friends and family because they are terrified of him. That's so sad. They're forgotten DV survivors. That's sad. Sarah said, I took my children to Minnesota from Texas away from the hell until they were 18 and could make their decisions. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, it's so sad. Now, let's see here. Oh, hold on a minute. Yeah, oh, and they quoted the newspaper in the Sun. They said, you see how a small town is. We all knew he didn't like those kids. The newspaper quoted Kim Berry, a Bell resident, as saying, we're shocked, though, it come to this. The investigators said they knew of no motives. As far as I know, that is kind of a motive when you don't like your grandkids. But he said, as far as I know, there was no motive related to anybody. That's what Jeff Manning of the county sheriff's department said at a news conference. He said, I don't know how you get clear signs that something like this could happen. I don't know either, but I know one thing, that's probably a motive. He didn't sound like he liked nobody, in my opinion. But I say, wow, just freaking wow. Yeah, your children's safety comes first. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I say maybe take calls seriously when somebody calls your agency or even talking to somebody or something like that. That was just like when that person was calling me and blowing me up the other day or whatever, and the things that they said on my, people wanted to come at me. No, I did the right thing. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to have that on my conscience. I wasn't going to have a woulda, shoulda, coulda. Sorry. Y'all can live with that. I'm not going to. And by the way, I've had 2 or 3 other texts after that wanting other people's number. I did not respond. So all is fine with the world. But I did my part. But maybe take calls seriously. And maybe when parole or probation goes out and visits, maybe they should do a little extra checks. I don't know. Because like I said before, I think it was yesterday or the day before, if you're not supposed to have this, that, or the other, trust and believe. We wasn't having such a serious conversation as we are now, but trust and believe. If they want the drink or the drug or the this, that, and the other, the firearm, you better do a thorough walkthrough because they're going to have the this, that, and the other. Trust and believe. They outsmarting y'all. That's what they're doing. The LE said it's a difficult scene to try to fathom why somebody did what they did. I bet it was. I would have hated to be an LE to walk up on something like that. That's something I could never, ever get out of my memory. Never. They say what is known about Mr. Spirit indicates a troubled life that deteriorated even further after the death of his son Kyle. I may not have lived the best life, he said in 2001 after killing his son on the hunting trip. And that's in the St. Petersburg Times that I guess he said that. But his divorce records show that when he was released from prison, he planned to take custody of his surviving son, Joshua. He argued with his former wife over possessions such as a jet ski, a camper, and in letters to her, he clearly saw himself as the better parent. The relationship had not always been so friction between them. His former wife, Christine Jeffers, had urged the court. Okay, this is when my blood pressure is fixing to go up. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Whew. Okay. I told y'all to keep all that in your mind. Okay. So, his former wife got a divorce from him. Remember, now they were kind of questioning, was that an accident? Okay. Now, I'm telling y'all, I gotta watch this movie too. Christine Jeffers had urged the court to be lenient on him. What is with all these women? Okay. To be lenient on him in the shooting death of Kyle, saying that he had not recovered from his death. Thank you, Sarah. And I'm going to start counting to 10. She said, quote, the loss of our son has really taken a toll on him. And he blames himself every day. She wrote in a letter to the judge, according to the Gainesville Sun. He has punished himself more than the court system ever could punish him, she wrote. Since our son's death, my husband has been severely depressed. The doctors have not found a medication yet to help him. There is not a day that goes by that I don't catch him crying. But court records show that even before his son's death, Mr. Spirit had a criminal record. In cases dating back to 1990, he had been convicted of drug possession, battery, and depriving a child of food and shelter. So that had nothing to do with his son's death. Hold on. That piece of shit had this before his son died. And the mother Do I dare call her a mother? I'm sorry. I know, I try to make excuses for these pieces of shit mothers. I really do, because they lost a child and they claim to be mothers. And then I have these monsters on YouTube coming after me because, oh, Smiley, why did you do this to a mother that lost her child? Well, does that sound like somebody that's worried about their child? I'm just wondering. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, I'm sorry. I apologize if I offend anybody. But Jesus, let me read this again. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me just read this again. This is the third time I'm reading it. Let me just make sure. The former wife, Christine Jeffers, had urged the court to be lenient on him in the shooting death of Cal. That's their son together, the ex-wife and him, because she said Mr. Spirit had not recovered from his death. The loss of our son had really taken a toll on him, and he blames himself every day, she wrote in a letter to the judge, according to the Gainesville Sun. He has punished himself more than the court system could ever punish him, she wrote. Since our son's death, my husband has been severely depressed. The doctors have not found a medication yet to help him. There is not a day that goes by that I don't catch him crying. But the court records show that even before his son's death, Mr. Spirit had a criminal record in cases dating way back to 1990, that he had been convicted of drug possession, battery, and depriving a child of food and shelter. That's child abuse. So maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I don't know. I just hope y'all hear me. Depriving a child of food and shelter. But the mom's okay with it, so I guess everybody else is supposed to be. And have pity for her, too. I guess you think this was an accident, too. Your daughter and all your grandchildren and him. I'd be willing to bet she has more sympathy for him dying. And I'm just saying, I don't know, but that if I'd be willing to bet. Bill Schaefer, a neighbor, said Mr. Spirit had a strange quality. Mr. Schaefer said he once gave Mr. Spirit a ride, but his neighbor never said a word hardly, and never even said thank you. That is pretty weird. Police would not reveal any details about the crime scene. Other family members were unavailable for comment. There was a Mr. Rankin. He was a superintendent of the county school, and there was no indications of any problems with Miss Spirit's children. None. They said 3 attended Bell Elementary School, and 1 in 2nd grade, and 1 in 3rd, and 1 in 5th grade, and none of them had any problems. Miss Schaefer said Bell population is so small. There's about 453, and it's a nice, quiet community. And it's the kind of place where someone's house burns down, people set up a donation. Everybody knows everybody. I mean, that's so small. That place is so small. The dad was often seen riding his bicycle. There was a neighbor, Mark Hall. He said he knew the spirits only through his own fifth grade son, Caleb, and he said he had gotten into fights at school, and Mr. Hall said he was concerned that he was bullying his son. My son tried to befriend him, but I had to tell him to stop being friends with him, Mr. Hall said. I didn't want him to get dragged into that lifestyle. Bell said he's very country. People know your good news and your bad news. I bet they do in that small town. So definitely it's a place where everyone knows everyone for sure. I mean, everything you do, you can believe they're going to know about it. But DCF and the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office had visited the family's home as recently as September 2nd. But the report said, boy, did they screw up. The report said a case note indicated the children were not in any intimate danger of illness or injury from abuse, neglect, or abandonment. And listen to this. After all was said and done, this is what got me fired up right here. They had to pay a $750,000 settlement, DCF did, with the survivors of the Bell family. So I was a little pissed off at that, even though they may have had some wrong in that, because pop, pop, pop went off in my head, and I said, who the hell is the survivors? The grandmother, the mother, where in the hell is she at? I hope she's watching. Where was she at? Where? I just want to know. I mean, I'm sorry, but Jesus, no accountability here at all. Why didn't she step in? Why wouldn't she? Why couldn't she? Why didn't she? That's my thoughts and opinions. And maybe I'm wrong. And what the other set of grandparents, were they? If they're alive, where are they? And I know, unfortunately, that's life. That's the way the ball bounces, So I hope that money helps them sleep. If it makes them happy and gives them a huge smile, I'm happy for whoever got it. Good. I hope maybe they should donate it to help out some of these issues within the system. If you ask me, help other kids. But, it's not my business. They can live with it. I don't know. The calls to Florida Abuse Hotline about the peculiar parenting methods of Sarah Spirit began in 2008 and continued until the entire family was slaughtered. September 18th. 18 investigations, every type of abuse or neglect in the handbook, beatings, burnings, medical neglect, poor supervision, drug abuse, abandonment, domestic battery, all of that was among them. The details were at times outlandish, it said. Spirit treated a deep cut on her son's foot with bleach. Then wrapped the wound in tissue and duct tape. She ignored pleas from a school nurse to take him to a doctor. The children frequently missed school, having head lice, and one little girl nearly lost her tooth to rot, nearly left her teeth to rot. The children stole food because they were hungry. I knew it. Spirit insisted the family had steak for dinner, which was bullshit. Her children said they ate cereal and romaine noodles while the adults dined on meat. Spirit's father, Don Spirit, beat the children with a belt for jumping on a couch. A March 2007 report said mom uses crack cocaine, adding, mom leaves the children in drug houses. The children's prenatal grandmother told an investigator that one of the boys was so hungry he hoarded food. Kids should not go through this, the grandmother said. Well, where the hell was she at? Why didn't she get them? That's what I want to know. The question. That's the $1 million question. The grandmother said, threatening to call the media if DCF refused to act. Okay. And? Did she? The next year, 2008, DCF was told that 9-year-old Kylie had witnessed her grandfather, who stood 6'2" and weighed 280 pounds, pushing her mom into a refrigerator and beating her about the face. DCF praised Spirit for acting to protect herself and her children. Spirit, a report said, grew up in a home with domestic violence. Oh, okay. Her parents in 2010, DCF was told preteen Caleb had suffered a cigarette lighter burn on his neck. Several hotline calls arrived in 2012. In January, the agency was told Kylie had to repeat kindergarten twice because of chronic head lice. In February, the agency was told Spirit soaked 11-year-old Caleb's foot in bleach and wrapped in a tissue and duct tape after he gashed it on shards of glass. The boy never received medical care until 12 days later, when a school resource officer at school nurses station took the boy to a doctor. Needs are being seen to with the help of others, a DCF report concluded. A report in May 2013 said Don Spirit had beaten 8-year-old Kylie with a belt, leaving bruises inside her knees, and that Sarah Spirit's boyfriend at the time would wreck her house when he couldn't find the couple's synthetic marijuana. Mom and dad are drug addicts, the report said. Another report 2 months later said Spirit had flunked a better parenting program. How do you flunk a parenting program? Okay. And that 5-year-old Destiny's teeth were rotting for lack of dental care. 3 more reports arrived that year in February. 5-year-old Destiny arrived at school with serious burns resulting in the first call. Good God. The burn would have been much better if it was treated last night, the agency was told. Are y'all hearing this shit? When interviewed by an investigator, Destiny told under prodding from a counselor that her mother had paddled her feet, bruising them because she wouldn't go to bed. Her feet? Y'all, this goes on and on. So it does bring me to where the heck. And I'm sorry, where? I know it says she called, but where was either side of these grandparents? I don't understand. Yes, that's torture. Their feet and burning and oh my God. How many more times does this have to happen in this world with these kids? And then remember how his ex-wife told them he didn't mean to do that and all that? That makes my blood boil. And now I was reading somewhere where she said not only that he didn't mean to do that, but now that they're all gone, she says, well, he had a mental problem, and so she said he had a mental problem, a mental illness, bipolar, and I think he needed help, and he was suicidal. So she wants to say that now. That's why I told you keep all that in your mind. So after all this, so if he was alive, would she say that? So what about her child, her blood, and her 6 grandkids? Are y'all going to tell me she said that and she's just in shock? Maybe she's just in shock. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not always right. I just have thoughts. But she says now, well, he had mental issues. He had bipolar and he needed help. Okay. I'll give her that. Besides, I think he's just a mass murderer and pure evil. Maybe he did have some problems, but did she bother while he was alive to get him any help? And if she knew he wasn't getting the right medicine, did she try to give him the right medicine? And she knew there was problems going on in the house because she called DCF, right? So did she try to get her grandkids and her daughter away or help them get out of that home and not be secluded in that home with them? I'm just wondering. Now, I can't blame her for his actions and what he did. I'm just saying, what did she do to help? I'm not blaming her for that. She can't help what somebody else does. But where was she? So, yeah, maybe she needs help. Maybe she needs help. Maybe somebody should check on her. Make sure she's okay. Because I can't imagine my whole family being wiped out. Yeah, by her not doing anything to help the children, maybe her daughter's one thing because she's grown, but nothing to help the children. I mean, could she not? Listen, I'm grown. My mom's sick, but I'm not a good excuse because I don't have no little kids. But if there was anything she could do to help her great grandkids, she would, even in the condition she's in. I don't know. That's just how I was raised, and we were, that's how our family is. I just don't get it from these people, And I get everybody's not the same, but a lot of stuff's just not normal to me. Yeah, maybe she's in denial right now, Susie, but what about when they were alive? They weren't doing anything to help the children. I don't understand. Right, Susie? Yeah, she may be. Yeah, I know you were, Susie. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. But I don't know. It's just a little bit late for that. I don't know. Let's watch. These are only just a few minutes. Let's watch percent. Hold on. Let's watch this one first. Hold on. Okay, let's watch this one. Oh, well, I don't never. Hold on.
New developments now in the small town murders of an entire family, 6 children and their mother, all of them killed by the children's own grandfather, who also killed himself. This happened in the town of Bell in Gilchrist County, just west of Gainesville. 4 of the children went to Bell Elementary School. They were shot soon after getting off the school bus yesterday afternoon.
Girl.
Teachers and school officials say they are devastated.
It was a tough morning at Bell Elementary School. These students were loved by their classmates, by their teachers and staff. It really hurt me this morning to be on our campus and seeing kids feeling the way they did this morning. It was difficult. We pray that God will be with us in the days ahead in His community.
Well, how do you explain it to kids? How do you explain it to anybody? Police say Don Spare had called 911 after he had killed his grandchildren and his daughter, then killed himself after deputies arrived minutes later. The question we have here tonight is, why did he do it? Nobody is sure. He was not a legal gun owner, did this awful thing all by himself. And the sheriff says that little community there in Bell, Florida, needs prayers tonight.
There's approximately 16,000 to 17,000 citizens in Gilchrist County.
Everybody knows everyone. This is devastating. If anybody's within the sound of my voice or the sight of these TV screens, keep this community, the families, and our children in your prayers because they need it.
The entire population of that little town of Bell there in Gilchrist County is just over 450 people. There's been nothing like that there, or in fact, anywhere else for most matters here.
Don Spirit moved to Bell in 1998. Until then, he lived in Tampa. Court records show a long criminal record here, and his former neighbors say he was mean-tempered and violent. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank talked to a woman who witnessed that violence. Evan?
Well, Denise, even 16 years after he lived in South Tampa, neighbors remember Don Spirit for the way that he used to yell at and beat his children.
Wow.
Corinne Slight sums up her lasting impression of Don Spirit.
He was a jerk.
Slight was Spirit's neighbor on Martindale Avenue in South Tampa in the 1990s.
We didn't like him too much. He was always yelling. He was not a very nice guy.
She was childhood friends with his daughter, the now deceased Sarah Spirit. Slight saw how Spirit raised his kids.
I remember one time, son's in trouble climbing up the stairs. He smacked the son so hard, son fell off the stairs. I remember we were at the park watching it.
Spirit's record is filled with charges of felony drug possession, obstructing an officer, and depriving a child of food and shelter. In 2001, he shot and killed his 8-year-old son on a hunting trip. Authorities determined it was an accident.
I can't believe it because even though he was a jerk, I remember when he shot his son because they were living on the street when it happened. And I remember how hurt and upset he was. You know, he had an anger problem, but you could tell he did love his family.
Psychiatrist Walter Afield says it foreshadows this mass killing.
So you've got a pattern of violence or disturbed behavior towards children. Then he comes home here, whatever he's been doing, whatever he's been taking, all of a sudden he kills the whole family. A very sick, sick way to do it.
Spirit got out of jail in 2006 after serving 3 years for gun possession. He moved to Bell. The man who once told the newspaper that his medication wasn't working, that his only medicine was his family, wound up killing as many of them as he could.
I did feel for him after he killed his son, but after this, it makes you wonder if it was an accident when he killed his son.
And in 54 years of studying mass murderers, the psychologist we spoke to, the psychiatrist we spoke to, says he's never heard of a grandfather killing his own grandchildren. And at 6 o'clock, we're going to tell you more about how the accidental shooting of the 8-year-old impacted his family after that. We're in the control room tonight. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
See, I've never heard of. I've never heard of such. Miss Ann said, but society will, smiley calls this don't look good at these were children. That's right. Yeah, that's not love. That's not love. I'm telling you. Let me look at this. Let's see. Look at this one. I think this one's about 3. I think it's about 3 minutes. Is that the one I just watched? Hold on. I don't know if this is the one I just watched or Lord have mercy. Oh, that's the one I just watched. Hold on a minute. Is that the one I just watched? They might both be the same. Lord. Well, that's the one I just watched.
New developments now in the small town murders of an.
They're both the same. I think this one's in my phone. Hold on a minute. Those are both the same. Hold on. Oh yeah, this one's on my phone. Hold on, turn it up. I'm waiting on the commercial. This just in, News4Jax is getting in dash cam video from the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office showing the moments deputies arrived at a home where a man shot and killed his daughter and 6 grandchildren 6 months ago before shooting and killing himself. Take a look at this. Here you're seeing the moments deputies heard a gunshot. They ran onto Donald Spirit's property. In the moments before this, though, a deputy was heard faintly trying to get Spirit to drop his weapon and talk with him about what happened. We're getting this video now, one day after the Florida Department of Law Enforcement released its final investigative report on the tragedy that took these lives. We warn you, you may find some of the content disturbing. Channel 4's Ashley Harding has details.
Yes, this 38-page report talks about what Donald Spirit said to deputies right after this happened. Now, again, most of it centers around his daughter, Sarah Spirit, and the 2 days leading up to the tragedy. Now, he focuses a lot of his rage on a woman named Colleen Stewart. She's the great aunt of the 3 youngest children. Now, I need to go ahead and warn our viewers once again, some of this material may be disturbing to some. It's been nearly 6 months since Donald Spirit killed his family, then called 911 and waited in his front yard for deputies to arrive.
I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and when these kids here, I'm going to shoot myself. Every one of them are dead.
For months, the small community wondered what caused Spirit to do what he did. That includes Janet Hand. She was Sarah Spirit's neighbor.
When her dad was the one that pulled the trigger and shot them all, and nobody else was there. So to have questions answered, that's how do you answer those questions?
We may never know all the answers, but this FDLE report sheds no light on the days leading up to the shootings. According to these documents, just minutes after he arrived at the home, Donald Spirit told the responding deputy he was angry at the Stewart family. The report states Sarah Spirit didn't have a job, and 2 days before the shootings, she had been paid for performing sex acts with a man known only as Jose. The documents say Spirit was introduced to Jose by her boyfriend's aunt, Colleen Stewart, and another woman named Ruby Sissel. When authorities arrived at the home after his 911 call, Donald Spirit talked about the Stewart family to the deputies, saying, quote, "They've ruined my family, they've ruined my life, and I'm just tired of them all, and I've taken care of it today."
You never wish bad things on anybody. And for that to take place, I can't even begin to imagine.
The documents also reveal some comments made by Donald Spirit the day before the shootings. According to investigators, Colleen Stewart was at the home and overheard Donald Stewart yelling at his daughter Sarah about her 6 kids, saying, quote, "Tell someone to come get them because I don't love them. I hate them." And after that exchange, according to the report, Don Spirit apologized to his daughter, Sarah, saying that he had been stressed out. Now, we have reached out to family members, including the Stewart family. No one was willing to comment. We're live in Bell. I'm Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station.
Oh, my God. I mean, that's horrible, but yes. And if you pull it up, it is tons and tons and tons of stuff on it. All you have to do is pull up the Don Bell case. Let's see, how do you look it up? See, if you look it up, you can pull it up under the Don. Let's see. Let me see if I can look it up. Not Don Bell. Let's see. Hold on a minute. You can look it up under, if you do the Bell suicide, or you can look up the Spirit. Okay, if you look up Dawn Spirit or Dawn Spirit case, Google that, and a lot of stuff will come up. It'll come up, all you need to know, and then it'll tell you like how the sheriff was warned. Here's the audio. Like, let's see if we can get that. Hold on a minute. I don't know if I can or not. Some of this stuff might want you to pay. I don't know if this is the one. It's out there because I heard it. I don't know if this is the one or not. The whole audio. Where'd it go? You just had to probably play around with it, but it's out there. This one has a lot of ads in it. I don't think this is it. That's just, I don't think that's it. But anyway, it's got everything. Shows about the settlement. Oh, it says there's 3 episodes on of tapes somebody's got on a podcast. I didn't see that earlier today. Season 3. Hold on, let's see what that one is. I guess of the trailers of the season 3. Maybe this is. Huh. Oh, maybe this is calls release. Somebody's got on here. 3 dot, or it says episode top of the dark side. I don't know. This is something I think you have to subscribe to, but here, y'all know better than me. Y'all got that? But anyway, pull it up. There is tons of stuff. Okay, let's see. Like, who was he? I mean, this is a lot of stuff I didn't even see. So there's a lot more stuff in here. God, I'll probably be up all night looking at this. But yeah, I would go in there and look at it. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Night, Susie. Love you. You got to get up early in the morning. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, it's very interesting, and it's sad to say the very least. This should never happen. This should never happen. If you ever feel, anybody is struggling, try to help them or see what's going on. If you see kids hungry, for Pete's sake, if they're that hungry or dirty, or there's something that can be done that you can do, just figure out a way to try to help. I know times are hard for everybody, but it's obvious if somebody has a lot of kids, we can barely feed ourselves, just leftovers. I mean, I know people don't want to take food from people, but my God, if it's a lot of kids, if people's out there stealing stuff now and trying to feed, I'm sure they don't mind. You know, ask, can I help you? I'm fixing to throw this out. Don't throw it away. Don't be a dickhead. Ask. If you see somebody struggling, before you do something, ask. It may be all somebody has, no matter what they look like on the outside. Dirty, clean. You don't ever know what somebody is struggling with or somebody is going through. You don't know. You don't know. Take time to find out instead of assuming. I don't want anybody to ever be this family, these children. So, anyway, I thank you all for joining me. And, no, thank you, Susie Q. Thank you. Yeah, just be a good person. It's not that hard. It's really not. I thank all my mods. Y'all welcome Sarah aboard. I didn't even ask her. I just gave her a mod tonight. She's a good-hearted person. I just gave her a mod. I just gave her a wrench tonight. She's a good-hearted person. I talk to her sometimes, and she checks on me a lot and helps me out. And so anyway, welcome aboard. I hope that's okay. But anyway, if y'all will just give a thumbs up and everything, and adios. I will see y'all tomorrow probably. I hope y'all have a good night and can sleep good, and I love you. Thank you for being here. Love you this big. Talk to y'all later. Thank you all. Good night.